Tutorial, and I'm going to walk you through the features of a free Slack account. Now, I learned a few lessons setting up my community, and I want to teach you about these lessons that I learned so that you don't make the same mistakes. So I'm going to go ahead now and walk you through it. Let's go ahead and do that. So let's go over for a moment why you might want to set up a Slack community. First off, it's free to use for most of the features, which I think is incredibly brilliant and amazing. And it's an amazing thing to take advantage of. It's a distraction-free tool in comparison to things like Facebook. You know, when you log into Facebook, it's so easy to end up at your feed, to see all these baby photos, to end up angry at your uncle over politics. So it's just really so much easier to be in a distraction-free zone, right? Bots and coding aspects to automate actions and to collaborate. So what I mean by this is that there are tons of tools out there to utilize with Slack to help you automate processes like welcoming new guests to your community, to actually helping them play games with each other, to getting people to have virtual coffees and collaborate and forming project groups. It's just endless the amount of tools that there are. There are easy one app access on your phone and computer. And what I mean by this is, again, I'm going to go back to Facebook, but Facebook has this Facebook Messenger and Facebook, the app, and it's like these two separate places you got to go to do like one thing, and it's just all over the place. Chat and video structure and capability, so you can actually, I don't know, I'm going to age myself here, but going back to those basics of Skype and AIM and everything, with that chat functionality that people just has, been rudimentary since the beginning of the internet and computing, right? But also adding that feature of video that's really amazing, and the ability to huddle very quickly and have quick chats. And a lot of people are using it with work, and there's an ability to toggle between accounts with one click. So what this means is somebody could be using their Slack at work, and with one click, they can go between their work account and congregate in your community, and then go right back to their work Slack with ease. And that is the most amazing feature of all. So this tutorial is going to mostly be for people who have had experience using Slack before. Now, it's not a tool that takes a long time to really learn. It's pretty intuitive. So if you've never used Slack before, it's not something that's going to take a long time to learn. But I wouldn't say I wouldn't recommend going into hosting a community before actually utilizing the tool for a little bit. One way you could do that is by joining another community. I actually happen to have one. You can go ahead and click on the link. I'm going to include it below and right here. But I'm going to walk you through how to just utilize the settings. So we're going to make the assumption that you know how to use Slack on a basic level. Maybe you've used it at work, or you've been a part of another community, and now you want to host your own community, or you're a founder of a startup and you want to start a Slack channel for your startup. So let me go ahead and guide you through the process. So you've created your account and you've signed in. Let's say you've already named your company or your community. If by chance you haven't already landed on a name, it's okay. You can go ahead and change that name very easily right here. So you can click on this right here and change the name of your community. There are no spaces between the words. And so just put capitalizations between each of the words, and that should kind of work as your space, if you will. And then that right below is the URL for your Slack community or your Slack channel. And then once you're done, go ahead and click save. Because I didn't make any changes, I won't. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and move into creating a channel. So to create a channel, super easy. Go ahead and click this create channel right here. We're going to create a new channel. I don't know, maybe I'll call this one coaching. You don't need to put the hashtag in. That's a good lesson right there. It's already there. So if I was going to call this coaching, I put a little description about what this channel is about. Now, maybe I would want to make this channel actually a private channel. Why would I want to do that? Well, in my community, I have public channels and private channels. So I have groups that I coach together in some courses. And then I also have this community, which is actually open to the public. So I might have private groups of 4 that are collaborating together, or even one-on-one community groups that I have with some of my people that I coach, but I'm not going to have that open to the public in the public forum channels that I have that are open to everybody. So I go ahead and I click create, and then that would pop up a new channel. I'm not going to do that because I have the channels that I like right there. We're going to go over to preferences. Now I want to show you, these are actually your personal preferences for your own profile. These are the preferences that you have for your specific account. This has nothing to do with the management of the community. So I'm going to leave this for today and let you manage this on your own. The settings and administration piece. So this is where we're going to get to the nuts and bolts. Workspace settings. Let's go ahead and start there. So here we have the workspace settings. The first one I'm going to go over is joining this workspace. Choose how people join your workspace. Now, I actually learned a hard lesson here. Now, I'm going to expand this for you. I have a few different URLs, but ultimately this part really doesn't matter for me because my community is open to everybody and I am a one-person shop. And so let me explain what this means. Now, if I were a company, anybody with a URL that is at thebossysauce.com or at your best masterclass or at master your craft would be able to join with those URLs with a URL that is unique to my company. Now, Slack sends you an email with that link that you can keep, and they send that to all admins. So you can save that and send that to anybody. For me, though, I'm really only inviting people that might have Gmails or Yahoo email addresses, etc. So unfortunately, you do need to add everybody manually for that. And where do you do that? So we're going to go ahead and do manage members right here and click invite people. So the invite link that I was talking about that Slack will email you can also be found right here, and you can copy this link and email it out. I made the faux pas of actually emailing this link out to everybody and in my email list, and they couldn't access the community. And so I really encourage you not to do that. You have to, unfortunately, go ahead and add everybody manually. So it is a little bit of a slog kind of having to do that. One way to make sure that you can manage this is with an email marketing tool. So what you can do is set up an email marketing tool to collect email addresses saying, hey, if you're interested, sign up for my community. And then somebody enters their email address, you go ahead and put their email address in here. And I use Flowdesk. It's actually the most economical tool out there for this, and it also just happens to be a really well designed tool. So with my referral, which I will include right here, it's $19 a month, and then there's also a 30-day free trial. You don't need to enter your credit card in for that 30 days free, so you can just poke around in it if you'd like. And then the first link where you can look at my community invite, that's actually built in Flowdesk. So it's a really good example for you to see what that's all about. So even though I said this community is free to build and free to manage, I will note that I do use a tool that's $19 a month, but that's not just for my Slack community. I use it for so many things, to manage so many pieces of my business. So if this is the only thing that you're doing and you don't have any other means to collect email addresses, it could be a cost though. So anyways, moving on, that is one piece of the administration that you will have to manage. Going back though, let's walk through some more of those settings. Workspace language. So if you want to go ahead and change the language, default channels. These are the channels that people are going to be added to when they are new to Slack. So you've invited them, they're now new. You don't have to go through the manual labor of adding them to these channels. They'll go ahead and be added. All you have to do right now is delegate what channels new users will be added to. And then what channel will be the main channel that users will be added to when they first join. So I like that to be introduce yourself, because I really want people to introduce themselves right off the bat. Display name guidelines. I haven't put anything here because I really want people to feel like they can display their names however they want. But some organizations would like people to put in their time zones, first name, last name, the time zone they're in, their pronouns, although there is a place here to also put that, or some other pieces of information that are really relevant to their community. Name display. Again, I don't want to override anything that is preferential to somebody, so I have left that here. I left that alone here. But if you wanted to override and have somebody's full name displayed instead of whatever they've chosen, you can do that here. Email display. So this is where somebody's email address could be included with their display. I actually feel like that invades privacy without getting everybody's permission in advance. So I have actually opted out of this for my members. Pronouns, I do include everybody's pronouns and ask them to put those in. Do not disturb. So I have actually added this in, should sync up to everybody's time zone that they're in, that notifications won't be popping up for everybody on their computer or on their mobile app devices between 8 p.m. and 7 a.m. their time. You can also customize this on your end for other preferences, but this is the automated piece that the community admin has set, and that would be me. I felt like this is, a work-life balance thing that I wanted to implement. Channel join and leave messages. This is, I just wanted to make sure that we didn't have, if we end up growing this community really large, we don't need to let everybody know if somebody's leaving one channel and joining another, etc. So didn't opt into that. Notification of new users. This was also something that I decided to opt out of or leave unchecked. And I initially had it checked because I did not understand what it meant. So let me go ahead and show you a little bit of what that would look like. So here we have on the left panel, we do have direct messages and people. And if you were to initially sign in and that box was checked, what would happen is the first time you would sign in and you weren't the moderator or admin of the account, you would see people's names start to pop up here, and there'd be a notification saying somebody is new to the account and to say hi to them, etc. The thing is the community is starting to grow, and it's not really an employee-employer arrangement, or a community of employees. And so it's a little bit different of a community. So I wanted to leave that direct message aspect blank and allow people to decide who they wanted to connect with, and for them to build that panel on the left of who they wanted to build that panel with. And so that's why I decided to leave that off. Calls. Choose how members make calls in Slack. I want people to be able to make what we call huddle calls in Slack. I think that that's a really good way to collaborate. In free accounts, you can only have up to 10 apps. I'm not going to go into all the apps today in this video, but I will note I got a little app crazed when I first started the community, and I signed up for about 7, and I realized that there was a maximum of 10. So I'm not going to add Zoom or anything like that because I don't think it'll be utilized that much. And I think that the Slack huddle aspect is good enough for the utilization of this community. Mobile usage. Prompt members to get the Slack mobile app. I think this is just another way to keep the members engaged. And I actually really like the Slack mobile app. I think it's a wonderful tool. So yeah, of course. So now we're getting into some pro features. Here's where you can put in your workspace icon. And another place where you can manage your URL. You can't really customize it outside of customizing your name for your community or your company. And then if you decide you want to take your community down one day, you can delete your workspace here. So let's go ahead and go into some more features. Permissions. Who can do @everyone, @channel, and @here? So if you're new to Slack, these are the prompts when you go into a channel and you want to make an announcement, to make a pop-up pop for everyone to get a notification. And I made this available only to admins, or in this case would be the community moderator, which is me. And for the reason for that is if this community grows and there are people who are in sales that join the community, I don't want this to be a tool where it gets spammy. So I decided to just make this me. And then if I eventually have more moderators in the future, I could add them in another area, but it would still default to them. Invitations. So people can invite members to the Slack community, but I did want it to have admin approval, really just because I don't want it to get hacked or to get to a place where it gets out of control for some reason. I really just want to be able to have eyes and visibility in everything that's happening. Channel management. Who can create, archive, move members, and manage posting permissions and channels? I mean, this is really just who can really create and manage all the channels. And so I just put everything admins and owners, and just all the way down. I felt like that was probably the best and safest move here. I'm not going to walk through each one of these. I think they're kind of self-explanatory. Slack Connect discoverability. So this isn't implemented yet, but what I'm guessing this is similar to when you log into LinkedIn or when you log into Facebook and they say, hey, do you want to utilize connecting to these people from your Gmail or Microsoft Office account that you know. I'm assuming it's a very similar, but these people are already on Slack, so invite them to your Slack. So I think it's something like that. That's what my guess is. It's not implemented yet, but it looks like it's in beta or will be launched soon. Slack Connect for direct messages. Allow members of your organization to DM with people from companies not already connected to master your craft. This is where it could get a little bit messy because Slack is originally designed for one company. And so what this is designed for, this feature within Slack is, let's say you are a company that works with clients, you're in a client servicing business, you might want to invite that client group to Slack and have them in one section of Slack in a group. And so that is a wonderful feature. The thing is being within a community, it's already a compilation of a whole bunch of people from all different areas. So it kind of seems moot to have another subsection of people, right? If I'm going to do that, I'm just going to make a channel and make it a private channel, or make it for a group of people that I'm working with on something separate. But that feature is technically there if there's a creative reason in which you can find value in it. Message editing and deletion. Now, I wanted people to have obviously the right to delete their own messages. And so I gave that right. I'm making the assumption that that's what that is. I didn't want to not give people the authority to be able to do that. Workplace analytics. So I'm not going to show you this today because I felt it was like a little bit more private, showing my own analytics, but there is a minimal analytics page you can dive into and look at the data of your community's usage of the tool. It is pretty limited on the free plan, but it's something, which is kind of nice, right? And you have the ability to decide who has the visibility of that. I obviously don't want that to be widely open, and so I put that as workspace owner and admin. Custom emojis. Now this is kind of cool. Who can manage custom emojis? So I'll show you where this can go in a moment, but you can choose where to add. You can choose to add custom emojis. So if you have a corporate emoji or something that's very specific to your community and you want people to engage with it, you can add it in, which I think is really cool. Slackbot Responses. Again, there's another area where you can add this customization in, which we'll go over in a moment, but who can actually do this? Workspace owners and admins. Now, what this is it's kind of an automated tool where somebody has a specific response and the Slackbot will give an automated response to it. Again, we'll put a pin in this for a moment. Workflow creation. This actually, they're kind of, usually all these features that are in the Pro plan have a tab next to it that says Pro. Now, Slack kind of dupes you on this workflow creation pieces. Anything that has the word workflow in here, they try to get you to click on it, where it goes to this workflow builder, and then they will tell you that it's a Pro feature. So I'm just going to let you know, don't waste your time clicking unless you intend on buying a Pro plan. The workflow builder is actually one of the really cool features of a Slack Pro plan. But if you do plan on paying for Slack, it becomes a cost per member fee. And I think it's like $4 to $6 per member. So it does add up quite a bit when you're running a few free community to your members. So webhooks, this is where you get into coding. Download of workflow form responses. Again, you're getting into coding. Apps and integrations. That's all the techie stuff. Okay, so we're going to go over here to authentication. You can't use Google apps or anything like that unless you have a pro plan. But what you can do is implement a Workspace two-factor authentication, which I do recommend. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to be doing it this week. And I really do recommend this. It's one of those things that people do neglect until you have been hacked. I don't know if you've ever woken up to, those random messages in your email where someone's trying to get into your Facebook or anything, but it's one of those things that you neglect until it actually matters. And so really highly recommend putting this in. And if for some reason something happens to your community, but you still have some control over it, you can force a password reset with all of the members of your community. Maybe even you want to do this every 18 months or every 2 years or something, just to keep the community safer. So you can expand this and go into the details of that. I'm not going to do that today, but it's an option for you. Now let's talk about profiles. Click on this little button right there. Take you to configure profile. So this is where you are going to be collecting the profile information for anybody who is new to the community. There's some pretty cool features in here. So you can decide whether or not you want to collect a name recording, name pronunciations, pronouns, titles. I think titles even in a community is great because everybody's coming from different jobs. Name, profile picture. So these are already requirements, and then these are the optional ones, the ones with the green tick marks. So I've opted into those. So this is where this is optional. I don't have it as a requirement. None of these are requirements, by the way. And then the email address I have left off. I have access to it, but everybody else doesn't. And then the About Me section, one thing I thought was really cool is that I have the ability to add pieces of information that I would like to collect. So if I want to add short text, I could put something like I did before, LinkedIn. And as you can see, it creates a little piece of information that you can actually go ahead and collect. So let me see how I did this one. Oh, user can set their own link. So that's how you do it. That's the feature that you want to use for that. I'm going to turn that one off or delete it. Now we're going to go back to manage members. So we're back here and let's just look at some of these members. So let's say somebody doesn't want to be a part of the community anymore. You can deactivate their account right here. I want to show you the change membership type because I just really feel like this is important to learn the capabilities and the limitations of the free account. So full member means that they are a member of the community. When I first saw that, I was a little bit taken aback, thinking like, am I giving them full access to everything? So no, you're not. It just means that they are kind of like if they were an employee of your company, but they are a member of your community. So let's go ahead and look at these account types. So if we go through here, you can see there are a handful of different types of members. The types of members that you are able to have with the free account are, I think that's like these two are kind of combined for as the workspace owners. And then you have workspace admins and then full members. These all down here are all part of the paid membership. So unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to take advantage of those. And if you ever come across the term guest account, which you might come across features that you want to access with a guest account, because I have occasionally, you won't be able to utilize those features. So I just want to let you know that in advance. If you catch something on a blog or anything with the term guest account, note that that does not come with the free account. The next thing I'm going to show you is this customize area. So if you click right over here, you can customize some really cool features. The first one is the one-click reactions. You can have the first three that are that automatically pop up for everybody be ones that you select. So the ones that I have selected are the wave, the all tone thumbs up, and then the hand, I guess the praise hands. You can add custom emojis here. So this is what we've talked about before, and this is where you would actually add those custom emojis. Slackbot. This one's really cool. So if you have if someone says something specific or has a specific question or a phrase, you can add an automatic Slackbot response, and there's an unlimited amount of these Slackbot responses. So you can actually use this as an automation tool. Let's say you have a specific question that's asked frequently. You can come up with all of the ways in which it is asked and then put the Slackbot response. Now, it will look like it's coming from the Slackbot and not a human, but it will answer the question in a timely manner for that person. I will note that you do want to be cautious of using this tool in the sense that for the first little bit, you do want to watch it, make sure it's accurately responding. And then if it is, responding accurately, then you can probably let it do its thing. There are statuses for when you're away from your Slack or you're away from your computer. And now there are ones that are a little bit more fixed for work environments. These are the ones that I put in place because this is a community and not a work environment for employees. And if you want to restore the default status suggestions, those, I'm not going to do that because I like mine, but it'll go back to the predetermined settings that most employers use. So channel prefixes, these can be used for notifying your admins or channel moderators. For example, if somebody puts in hashtag coach, what I did is specify that this is if you need help from the coach. I am a coach, and that's what the community is about. And so if you need help, that is what you can put in to get help from me. Do you know the best way to learn how to manage a Slack community? I said it at the beginning, and I'm going to say it again. It's to learn from somebody who's already managing one. So I say go ahead and copy my formula from my community. And let me tell you how you can do that. What are the benefits from copying my community? You can learn the basics of Slack and a Slack community, learn the verbiage that I'm using with people to get them to engage in the community. You can copy my introductions, my reminders, my engagements. Now, you think that those are small things, but you putting those things into your bots and everything, it takes a lot of time to put all those things together, right? And then kind of segueing into the bots, learn the bots that I'm using. Actually, learn the tools that I'm using. You can copy my templates, but my community terms of service, etc. I mean, those things are right there. You might as well, don't copy it, verbatim, but use what's relevant for you, and then put in the pieces that you need for your business or for your community. And then the bonus is that you actually get to enjoy being a part of an amazing network of people that are engaged in a fantastic community. So if that sounds compelling to you, I say go ahead and join. And otherwise, I really hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial. I've enjoyed having you listen to me and join me today. I look forward to bringing more content to you. So if you've enjoyed this at all, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe, all that good stuff. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Kristen Diane from thebossysauce.com signing out today, but I'm going to see you again very soon.